Hey guys, Colbrew here. Welcome back to another raid video. Narma, the return, has been officially rebalanced, buffed, as I would say, and her changes are simply amazing. Now she basically becomes a much better poisoner. Knights Revenant become much easier for faction wars if you've been having trouble. If you didn't have a solid poisoner and a poison activator, that's what she becomes, and it's just simply lovely on how these changes will be affecting her when the patch goes live and the changes go through with Narma the Return. I find myself having a lot of fun with her. If you've never used a poison activation composition of champions, I'll be showcasing that today. It's kind of cool actually if you see it in terms of just how you kill the opponent, right? You kill the enemies. It's pretty cool. I'll show you the build that I have on her. Basically, I've tried different things with her. She can actually solo one of the dungeons. It's not that amazing that she can solo it. It's mostly because of the blessing, I would say. The blessing is the hardest part of this build, having a 5-star blessing. I could have showcased a 6-star. I just wanted to drop a little bit in terms of how out of reach this is. So in terms of gearing, regeneration and immortal is basically the go-to when you're trying to build a champion for solo compositions. If you're not trying to do that and you want to see her in a build, other than that, I would just say just go for accuracy and speed, and the activation of poisons are gonna help a ton for damage, right? It's the number of poisons that count and not the stats that you have on your gear. Of course, there's one relic that does affect the damage of the poisons. If you guys have never seen it before, it's this one, the Arak Elixir. So the wearer's poison debuffs deal bonus damage equal to 50% of the wearer's attack. So if you can boost her attack a little bit, she'll be doing more damage to the poisons. I just find it's not that beneficial for having this elixir over, let's say, the golden elixir when you're trying to solo stuff. If you're doing other stuff, if you're using it for other setups with other champions together, then it's a different discussion. Things are different if you are using a full composition. The golden elixir is fantastic for soloing, and I'm not showcasing crazy gemstones or crazy levels on the golden elixir, even though the plus 12 I think is crazy, right? So overall stats I'm running here is 97,000 health, 4.6 defense, 250 speed, and then accuracy, resistance. You don't need so much accuracy. I was trying her in the Chimera, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on that and showcase her a little bit in just a second. So resistance, why do you need resistance? Basically for dungeons, if you're trying to solo, you want high resistance, but I'll show you guys on how that goes in terms of the solo build, and then I'll show you the poison activation build first, like the run. It's pretty cool. And her skills, basically the way that they've become now is that if there's debuffs on the enemies, any debuffs, she now has an AoE poison application, very strong with the poison sensitivity, just boost the damage that you deal. And then her A2 does an AoE activation of poisons, and an explosion of the poisons does go through the waves quickly, and she could do tremendous amount of damage just because of that. If I had Calvalax on my account, I could have showed you guys something different, but I just don't. So we're gonna go with the next best thing. So we'll see on how she does. Honestly, this passive is now just amazing. So whenever an ally is attacked, 25% chance of placing a poison debuff. Whenever this champion is attacked, the chance increases to 50%. So enemies under poison debuffs inflict 5% less damage. This is huge actually, and can work for Chimera in terms of reducing the damage that you receive from the boss. If you're having issues with that, then she'll help a ton. And the build that I was running here is the War Master build and Master Hexer Sniper, right? Sniper, I believe, should work with her passive. Master Hexer is must have on poisoners, obviously, guys. And that's it. So the regeneration immortal set, I would say you need the regeneration set for sure for soloing stuff. Together with the golden elixir, I think you can go without the immortal set. It's just that if you've got this combo of items with these stats, for the most part you'll need it for one champion. So you can have it, let's say, on one champion for ice golem soloing if you are at that point, and then you can move it to your dragon soloing if that's what you want to be doing. I don't really do soloing except for Ice Golem personally. So let me just show you guys on the one build here. So this is Poison Explosion with my boys the Taurus. You've never seen Taurus in action. He's got also 4 poisons that he applies as an AoE. So we're basically here in this build, we're trying to use Narma as simply an activator of the poison. So we'll do the A2 first, right? A2 first here instead of the A1, and that will basically blow up the enemies, right? So I don't think I even need all of these Tauruses, but I'm gonna show you with Renegade. Okay, so Renegade is gonna be my reset, so we don't go with kind of crazy champions. Just want to have some fun here with these champions that I've got. So 270 speed, I think we're okay. 273, right? She'll go first on the second round. We want to see how quickly this can be cleared. So Flesh Terror has the ability to extend the duration of debuffs. You want that when you're applying poison. So when you extend the duration of those, you do more damage with Narma, and that is going to help you clear the wave, right? Let's get started with the run. I'll take you through on what happens. Should be starting with poisons, more poisons from the other Taurus. Then we get extension, right? Beautiful. Blow them up. Ideally there, he should have died and we would have had the reset next, but I think I should be okay. There we go. Get the reset. Let's get started. Poisons. I don't think it's gonna work now because she's gonna use her A2. What? Oh yeah, I guess the A3 she didn't have, but this is going way slower than I thought. Let's just see what happens on the boss. On the boss, I don't really care if everybody dies because she's got the gear to survive, and actually she'll be faster in doing damage on the boss because it's a single target. You don't care anymore. Look at all the poisons on the boss. The brimstone is doing work, which is what you want. There's the activation. Look at that, just half of the boss's health. Get a reset. She should be doing her A3 next. There it is. You get a turn. Small heal. We don't need that heal. Look at how much damage that does because of the activations. Although on the dragon, it's not the worst thing to not have the activations because the boss gets turns and basically it activates. But after they changed the poisons to do more damage on the bosses through the activations, it has become way better. So I'm not sure what was happening on the waves. The waves should have been getting cleared. I've tried this so many times. It was working. Let's see. Maybe getting some resist. Maybe that's what happened. Yeah, probably. Yes, there's the reset. Like we don't have the A3s yet. So she should go the A3 herself. Poison sensitivity, basically. There's more poisons. Get hit. That's fine. There's the extension. And then she blows them up. So that's what should have happened before, basically. And then this should be about the same time. Actually, if the Taurus survive, it's gonna be worse for me because I don't want the champions to be taking turns. I want them to be dying, ideally. So now the boss takes a turn. That's beautiful. That's what I want the boss to be doing with poisons, and then I activate them to go through the health. So like ideal scenario would be this kind of build. The champions don't really care for any specific build. You just need accuracy for all the Taurus and the Flesh Terror to do this, guys. It's just the activation that does all the work. If you've got the accuracy, which you get a little bit with Narma, it makes it so much easier. So the soloing with her, because of the stats and the regen set, it just works. Okay, it just works and she just doesn't die. The thing is, because she activates, she doesn't allow herself to do the thing where she would be spreading poisons on all the enemies because of the multiple debuffs on one target. So if there's more than 3 debuffs, she's able to apply poisons on all enemies. And then ideally she would be activating. But because she activates like the AI does it, it just removes all the debuffs and we're left with the leech debuff and the poisons whenever we get hit and stuff. But she survives because of the gear. She survives, and eventually she goes through and reaches the boss and kills it. So that is the solo build with her, but there's many champions that can do this and have poisons. And if you've got one of those with this gear, you're basically able to do it, especially with Brimstone. Brimstone just makes things 100% easier, right? Especially on waves, because the enemies do lots of skills and you do AoE damage with the waves. You just clear through. It's just a matter of surviving. And there's other champions that can do this way quicker than her. But if you're somebody who wants to have a solo champion with 4 champions as food, you can do this with her. You just need these stats where you're resisting what the enemies are applying on you. And this can take a while, like 2 minutes, but the boss is quicker. All right. As you see, we don't die. The enemies get some poisons on them. And then should be able to see maybe like an activation. Look at the damage there. We get multiple hits on us, so there's multiple debuffs. But we never drop. Never drop in terms of health. That's how strong the regen immortal plus the relic has become. All right. So yeah, let's just exit here. It's just a showcase of the solo build, but that's how it works. And she doesn't even come close to dying with these stats. I think the blessing is insane. The 5-star blessing in terms of like a showcase. It's not that easy to get blessings, I know, but it just shows on the Brimstone, the power of Brimstone. Even a lower blessing, just the Brimstone helps because there's not really any cleansers on that level, so you're fine. This actually also works on Spider, like the explosions. Does it work well though? No, can't remember. Maybe I can show you guys with no auto setup, but let's see. So basically start the same way. We're not going to do the other skills. We'll do the poisons, apply it on the small spiders, and we apply it on the other spiders. Then we extend, and then we blow up here, and that kills all the small spiders. You see how low the boss dropped. And then with Brimstone, basically 10% health, no, 15% maybe. Then we reset, and then if I put it on auto, it's just we're gonna be doing poisons and then poisons again, maybe. Oh no, because they're 4-turn cooldown. We don't do that. But look at all the poison that she applied. I don't care at all, because now the Taurus survive because of their passive, which is giving them unkillable. Or is it the skill that gives them unkillable? I think it's the skill. Look at that, beautiful. You just spam it again. It's not that anybody has a problem with Spider hard mode, but look at that. Look at how beautiful that was. And with this build, you go through Spider hard mode 10 also, if you wanted to have this sort of thing. But there's so many champions now that can do it. I think Spider hard mode is way easier than the other hard mode dungeons, very close to difficulty with Dragon, I would say, because you just have so many more setups nowadays with Hex that you can kill the small spiders, and that allows you to do more damage, right? So not really a showcase anywhere else. For the Chimera, she'll actually allow you to get more trials, right? Because now she has in her kit, she's got Leech. If you don't have Leech, like I actually have it with Necmo for this setup, but if you don't have Leech, she actually will allow you to get Leech in there, poisons, decrease attack, poison sensitivity if you're not running, let's say, Lydia. And then she also extends the durations of debuffs with her skill. She applies more poisons when everybody gets hit on a chance, of course. And that allows you to basically do more trials. And I would say trials is important if you're looking to get more relics. Not so important if you're still struggling to get maximum damage for the maximum chest. So you got to balance it. If you're still not on the maximum chest, I would say go for that instead of the trials. And then once you're there, maybe look for changing the builds a little bit for your team. And I'm talking any difficulty, not just the highest one. So that was the changed Narma, guys. Thank you for watching. Narma, here's the build again. I would say I probably didn't need the immortal. I don't think golden elixir you can go without, because it just makes this run so much safer. So I would say try and get one. If not, then you'll need definitely really good stats and high resistance, high accuracy. You get, of course, more accuracy through her aura, but the more the better, right? You can have like 250 plus her aura. You still be landing poisons. It's just that you might be getting some resist on hard mode 10. Lower than that, it just goes 10 per level, right? Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one.